Hello and welcome to Science Monitor, the weekly update on science, technology, invention and innovation. I am Smriti Rastogi. In today's episode, we will talk about an innovative project made by a student who won the Inspire Manak National Level Competition Award. And Indian researchers are successfully finding a biochemical relationship between fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. There will be a lot more news, but let's begin with the headlines. 1,500 tons of plastic waste were disposed of at the conclusion of Coastal Cleanliness Campaign. The public participated enthusiastically in more than 700 coastal areas of the country, including Mumbai. Identification of a biochemical relationship between fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. The discovery by Indian researchers can be helpful in making new investigation methods and medical strategy. A student from Uttarakhand has suggested an innovative idea of making organic manure from polluted water. The project was included in Inspire Manak Award National Level Competition and Exhibition. And information about the latest activities in the field of science and technology from around the world in our special segment Science Express. And now the news in detail. The longest running coastal cleanup campaign concluded with a fresh pledge being taken on the occasion of International Coastal Cleanup Day on 17th of September. The 75-day-long event saw lakhs of people joining the campaign to clean up beaches as well as sensitize the youth towards coastal conservation. It was one of its kind program conducted by the government. Here is a Science Monitor report on Swach Sagar Surakshit Sagar campaign of the Government of India.
The air on Juhu Beach in Mumbai was abuzz with palpable excitement and enthusiasm on September the 17th as the government's massive coastal cleanup campaign Swach Sagar Surakshit Sagar came to an end. Held in collaboration with various ministries and departments of the Government of India, including several urban bodies, voluntary organizations and massive public participation, this campaign to make 75 beaches of the country garbage-free was run from July the 5th to September the 17th. The goal of the campaign was to remove 15,000 tons of plastic waste from the country's coasts. The longest ever cleanliness drive was successful in achieving its intended goal, culminating in a simultaneous cleanliness drive held at over 700 locations across the country's 7,500-kilometer coastline, with the main event in Mumbai. Congratulating the people for the success of the campaign, Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, Dr. Jitendra Singh, said that the target to remove 1,500 tons of plastic waste from beaches has been achieved thanks to the joint efforts of all.
ये प्रयास निरंतर जारी रहेगा भारत के समुद्र तट को साफ रखने का और भारत के सागरों की स्वास्थ्य, सेहत और उनकी बहबूदी, उनकी वेलबींग किस प्रकार से सुनिश्चित की जा सके, हम सब इसके लिए सदा समर्पित रहेंगे.
So our objective is to safeguard the ocean, clean ocean, clear ocean and protective and as well as predicted ocean. That is our objective. In that aspect, we are able to culminate all the people from youngsters and various ministries and volunteers so that they can participate not only participate in 75 days, but also it has to be a value chain or it has to be the part of their life to have a clear or protective ocean.
Several Bollywood singers performed at the closing ceremony and a music video composed specially for the campaign was also played out.
रक्षण संवर्धन हे ये कर्तव्य हमारा
रहे सदा सुरक्षित सागर और सरिता ऐसा संकल्प हमारा, समझो हम सब सागर से, सागर जीवन है, समझो हम सब सागर से, सागर जीवन है, सागर जीवन है, सागर सुरक्षित रहे।
The Coastal Cleanup Campaign was launched as part of the Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav that is being celebrated to commemorate 75 years of India's independence. A large number of people from all walks of life participated in the campaign, which was launched with a vision to build a healthy India using Swachh Bharat and Clean Beach Vision. More than 1 lakh volunteers have also registered on the Eco Mitra mobile app that has been released to connect the youth with the campaign. Awareness drives, walkathons, tree plantation drives, quiz competitions for school children and motorcycle rallies in more than 45 districts of 9 coastal states were some of the methods used to popularize the cleanliness drive among the general public.
This campaign was held successfully at 75 places all over India. As you may be knowing, the government of India is having a lot of emphasis on the blue economy, which is going to be, suppose, one of the most important areas of work in the next coming decade. And keeping in view, the Ministry of Earth Sciences has launched the Deep Ocean Mission, one of the important missions to explore the oceans, underlying oceans. So one of the main targets of this ocean is to develop technologies so that the manned submersible can explore the oceans up to a depth of 6,000 meters, and also develop technology to harness both the living and the non-living resources.
खुशी का पल है कि 5 जुलाई से लेकर 17 सितंबर तक जो अभियान चला और हमारे माननीय मंत्री जी जो पृथ्वी विज्ञान मंत्रालय के मंत्री जी हैं जिन्होंने उद्घोष किया, और प्रधानमंत्री जी के जन्मदिन पर जो इसका पहला उद्घोष का समापन और जन जन तक एक इस अभियान का बिगुल बजाया। ये 17 को समाप्ति नहीं है, 17 सितंबर ये कह रहा है एक संकल्प लेने का दिन है कि हम संकल्प लें कि हम भारतीय अपने 7,516 किलोमीटर की जो तटीय जो हमारी लंबाई है, जो तटीय क्षेत्र है, उसको भली भांति से रख रखाव के लिए स्वच्छ रखें, क्योंकि सागर की स्वच्छता ही पृथ्वी की स्वच्छता को बरकरार रखेगा। पृथ्वी और सागर के दोनों की सामंजस्य जो है वो चिरांतन पुराना है। सागर जो स्वच्छ है तो पृथ्वी जीवित रहेगी।
One of the most comprehensive coastal cleanup campaigns ever, Swach Sagar Surakshit Sagar Abhiyan has created a renewed sense of awareness among people living along the coastline and those dependent on marine resources. The importance of this campaign can be gauged from the fact that the rate at which marine ecosystems and biodiversity are being lost is also directly proportional to the rate at which ocean health is deteriorating. Oceans not only control our monsoon cycles but also our climate, impacting not just the coastal areas but also all of mankind. In this scenario, it is very important that we protect our natural resources in order to provide a healthy and pollution-free future for the next generation. The closing ceremony of the 75-day-long Swach Sagar Surakshit Sagar Abhiyan is indeed a new beginning in this direction. All stakeholders have been requested to not let their enthusiasm for coastal cleanliness die down with this program and to continue working on the pledge to clean up and conserve the beaches of our country.
Indian researchers for the first time have explored the biochemical relationship between fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. The success has been achieved jointly by researchers from several institutions, including the Indian Institute of Technology, Mandi. This breakthrough may aid in the development of new diagnostic methods and treatment strategies for diabetes mellitus that is caused by fat deposition in the liver. Here is a Science Monitor report.
Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is a serious ailment that adversely affects those who suffer from it. The number of patients affected by the disease is on the rise in India. According to recent surveys, about 40% of all adults in the country are affected by NAFLD. The disease is often associated with type 2 diabetes, and about 5 crore Indians suffer from both these ailments. In a bid to find an effective cure for both, Indian researchers have found the biochemical relationship between non-alcoholic fatty liver disease and type 2 diabetes. The research work was conducted by a team led by Associate Professor Dr. Prasanjit Mandal of the School of Bioscience and Bioengineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Mandi, in collaboration with CSIR's Indian Institute of Chemical Biology, Kolkata, and experts from IPG MER and SSKM Hospitals, Kolkata. The breakthrough is likely to help in the early detection of diabetes risk in patients with NAFLD. The research can also help in developing new tests, treatments, and diagnostic techniques for diabetes caused by the fatty liver disease.
We use different kind of model, both the cellular model and animal model, and also from the clinical samples. So by using different model and design a number of complementary experiments, we show that in the fatty liver patient, when they become fatty liver, they enhance their de novo lipogenesis, hepatic de novo lipogenesis, by upregulating a transcription factor that's called CHREBP. So what we did, we generated a transgenic mice model where we overexpress CHREBP and try to mimic the condition of human fatty liver. And when we mimic it, we saw that when you overexpress CHREBP, the mice become fatty, they got the fatty liver. So at the same time, they secrete a very specific protein. It's a very tiny protein that's called S100A6 that secrete out from the fatty liver and released in the bloodstream. And into the bloodstream, they migrated to the pancreatic beta cells, and they bind to a very specific receptor in the beta cells called RAGE. And after binding there, they significantly block the insulin secretion by blocking cyclic AMP synthesis, and also dysregulated the PK activity and ATP synthesis. And there we saw there is a significant reduction in insulin secretion from the pancreatic beta cells.
According to researchers, so far there was no clear understanding of how non-alcoholic fatty liver disease affects insulin resistance and beta cell function of the pancreas. This multi-institutional research is aimed to explore the relationship between beta cell function failure and the fat stored in the liver. The team analyzed blood samples from fat-fed mice and patients with NAFLD and found that both samples contained a calcium-binding protein named S100A6. This protein is excreted by the fatty liver and acts as a link between the liver and the pancreas. The protein adversely affects the ability of beta cells to make insulin, thus promoting type 2 diabetes. During research, it was found that insulin release and blood glucose regulation were better in rats when the S100A6 protein was deficient.
How fatty liver? What is fatty liver? Basically, fatty liver, in what happens, there is fat deposition on the liver. So how just a deposition in the liver can ask the pancreas to shut down its function of releasing insulin. So we started with the study wherein we try to do what are the factors that are secreted from this fatty liver upon deposition of fat, and then how it, what kind of signals that is sent to pancreas so that they can shut down or decrease the secretion of insulin and thereby get more prone towards the development of type 2 diabetes. So the study started with the proteomic study, wherein we understood what are basically the proteins that are secreted from the liver upon induction of that deposition of fat state. So then we did first a proteomic study. We identified 5 or 6 factors, and from those 5 or 6 factors, we shortlisted to one, and we studied about its physiology, like in what condition it is secreted, and upon secretion, how does it interact with the pancreatic beta cells, and how does it impair its function to secrete insulin.
The study is significant in a number of ways. It demonstrates both experimentally and clinically that elevated levels of the protein S100A6 in the bloodstream may serve as a biomarker to identify the risk of type 2 diabetes in patients with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. At the same time, it can also be helpful in a better prognosis for patients suffering from this type of diabetes. The findings of this research have recently been published in the journal Diabetes.
The recently held Inspire Manak National Level Exhibition and Project Competition in New Delhi saw students from across the country presenting their innovative solutions for challenges faced by the contemporary world. One of these solutions was brought in by a student from Uttarakhand who presented an innovative idea to make organic manure using polluted water. The uniqueness of the project attracted all-round attention, right from the general public to renowned scientists. Here is a Science Monitor report on the project.
The young innovators who participated in the national level exhibition and project competition of Inspire Manak Awards held in New Delhi recently have once again proved that a society based on science can face every challenge that comes in the way of everyday life and find viable solutions for it. Among the many projects displayed by the students on contemporary world challenges and national priorities, those selected were also given a place in the exhibition part of the event. One such project has been prepared by Dhruv, student from Khatoli town of Uttarakhand, who is among the top 60 awardee students. Dhruv has come up with an idea to make organic manure from polluted water, which will also get rid of the problem of algal growth or eutrophication in water bodies.
Use excess amount of fertilizer in our farming lands, and when we irrigate those lands, some amount of fertilizer get mixed with the water and reaches the water table. This is known as leaching, and then that water table ends into a river, and when the nutrient level in that river rises, there is food, right? Someone will come and eat it. So algae comes in, eats all the food, populates itself, and this is known as algae blooming. When it decomposes, it creates a situation known as HAB, harmful algae blooming. What happens is, when bacteria decomposes it consumes all the oxygen from that water body, and due to hypoxia, a lot of aquatic life inside that water body dies. This is a huge problem caused by us because we are throwing a lot of nutrient waste into the sewages.
The extensive use of fertilizers for farming, which leach nutrients into nearby water bodies, resulting in the growth of algae or eutrophication, not only pollutes the water body but also damages its biodiversity. To prevent this, it is necessary to reduce the runoff from farms into water bodies. Besides, it is also important to use the abundance of algae growing in these water bodies. Dhruv has come up with a simple, economical and precise solution for this problem through his project. His solution is to add magnesium ions to a water source that contains algae. This creates a wall of ammonia and phosphate, leading to the formation of magnesium ammonium phosphate hexahydrate precipitate, which is when mixed with algae provides an economical alternative to organic manure.
So I will set up a plant beside the wastewater treatment plant which will do 3 things. First of all, it will extract that magnesium ammonium phosphate hexahydrate from the water. Second thing, it will harvest algae because we need algae for our main product, which is the biofertilizer. Third thing that it will do is it will work on other uses of algae.
Dhruv has prepared 2 models to take this project up on a large scale. The first involves the application of the technology in a wastewater treatment plant, where water rich in nutrients and harmful algae is found in abundance. The second is to create small treatment plants for farmers so that they can prepare organic fertilizers by placing them in the water bodies near their fields. This innovation of a young Indian student can pave the way for the creation of an indigenous solution to revolutionize the country's water conservation targets and also make eco-friendly use of polluted elements.
And now let's have a quick look at some other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our segment Science Express.
Dr. Jitendra Singh, Union Minister of Science and Technology and Earth Sciences, participated in the Global Clean Energy Action Forum held in the American city of Pittsburgh from September the 21st to September 23rd. The Union Minister led the joint Indian ministerial delegation of the Ministries of Power, New and Renewable Energy, and Science and Technology at the forum. At the conference, the Union Minister put forth India's commitment and efforts regarding clean energy in front of the world and also offered several important suggestions. He also suggested several themes where DST and US National Science Foundation could start collaborative projects. These themes include cobotics, computers, robotics and automation technologies, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics, sensors and networking of technologies related to the Internet of Things. In addition to the Global Clean Energy Action Forum, Dr. Jitendra Singh also joined in several other collaborative and thematic events during his 5-day visit to the United States. Before leaving for Pittsburgh, the Union Minister held a roundtable meeting with CEOs and representatives of over 30 leading US companies in Washington and briefed them about reforms in India's trade policies and the investment opportunities available in the country. Besides his talk with the senior executives associated with geospatial, space, earth and ocean science, pharma and biotech sectors, the minister also held discussions on topics such as the commercial opportunities for US-India space collaboration, the potential of geospatial, expansive potential for growth in SATCOMs, and commercial space, brown, green and blue. Speaking on the occasion, Dr. Singh said that India and US have successfully established cooperation in space science and exploration, with ISRO and NASA working together to launch a joint radar satellite, NISAR, for Earth observation. He reiterated that India has immense potential in the space sector. Recently, a roundtable discussion on C.V. Raman International Fellowship Program for African Researchers was held between the Department of Science and Technology and the African missions in India. Addressing the event, Secretary of the Department of Science and Technology, Dr. S. Chandrasekhar, said that working with Africa has always benefited India, and it will grow bilateral ties not only in science and technology but also in business, culture and social sciences. He said DST, in collaboration with the Ministry of External Affairs and our African friends, is working on various capacity building programs such as the C.V. Raman Fellowship, training programs and strengthening academic and scientific institutions. The Department of Science and Technology, through the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry and the Ministry of External Affairs, launched the C.V. Raman Fellowship Program for African researchers during the India-Africa Forum Summit. The objective of this fellowship is to provide an opportunity for African researchers to conduct collaborative research in various areas of science and technology in different Indian universities and R&D institutions under the guidance of Indian scientists. CSIR's popular science magazine Vigyan Pragati has created history. The magazine has received the National Rajbhasha Kirti Puraskar during the second All India Rajbhasha Sammelan held on the 14th and 15th of September 2022 in Surat, Gujarat. The mega program in Surat was organized by the Department of Official Languages, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. CSIR, NISPA. Professor Ranjana Agrawal received the prestigious Kirti Award on behalf of CSIR. Published in Hindi, the monthly magazine Vigyan Pragati is one of the most popular science magazines in India. It is widely read by children, teachers, researchers, and the general public in India as well as around the world. The Council of Scientific and Industrial Research started publishing this journal in 1952. The content published in this magazine over the last 7 decades has inspired a large number of readers. The magazine continuously gives out information about the current national, international science and technology related developments, discoveries, inventions, articles, features, science fiction, science poetry, quiz, etc.
That is all in today's edition of Science Monitor. Keep sending your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is indiascience@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write in to us at Vigyan Prasar, A50, Sector 62, Noida 201309, Uttar Pradesh. So we'll take your leave now. See you again next week. Till then, stay safe and think scientifically.